So Paul, writing to the Ephesians today, asks us to preserve unity and to be people of peace. And there are different ways that people have approached unity and peace, especially in more recent times. There's almost this relativistic idea that, well, each person can just do whatever they want to do. And that really there is no truth, there is nothing that is really sustaining or based upon goodness. It's just each person just does whatever, and no one should be encouraging anyone to sort of to go in a different path to whatever they feel in their gut says that they should do. We know as Christians that this sometimes can create absolute chaos. And today's saint, St. John of Capistrano, was known for being one of the very first people in history to become a preacher on a mass scale, a huge size. He would gather hundreds of thousands of people, which is, by modern standards, is even quite impressive. He was known in different places he would go. He would preach to literally over 100,000 people at a time. And he was calling them to peace and to unity, a single mind. This is what St. Paul was asking as well. St. John of Capistrano, interestingly enough, did most of his ministry, he was an Italian, but he did most of his ministry in Central Europe. He spent a lot of time preaching in Poland and in Hungary, which connects with the saints we've had over the last 2 days, St. John Paul II and Blessed Karl of Austria. St. John of Capistrano was known for his clarity, but he was able to move people to take a step out from themselves to be able to be people of unity with others. I think that's one of the great challenges of our time today. The message of Jesus Christ requires each of us to give up a little bit of ourselves. We turn away from sin so we can walk not just my way, but to walk really the way of Jesus. Because my way, if I keep walking my way, I'm going to perhaps end up at a roadblock, which is going to create 1,000,000 miles away from everybody else. And sometimes that hymn or that song, I did it my way, sometimes gives us a false understanding. The way that we want to be going is not the person's way, individual's way, but the way of Jesus Christ. St. John of Capistrano called people to move beyond themselves. He was a reformer within the Franciscans, calling the Franciscans of his time to the true life of Jesus Christ, to a life of poverty, but a life of devotion. And we're called to that as well, to live that life of devotion. Things got a little difficult during his time, and the Ottoman Empire was invading into different parts of Central Europe, and he became a great voice to unite Christians and unite people of many different countries around the defence of life, the defence of Christian life in that place. And because of that, he then became known as one of the chaplains of the military. The patron saint for military chaplains. So we think of those who are in military service today. People don't become or join the military because they love war or they love seeing people suffer. They do it because they're willing to give up something of themselves for something greater. And that's part of the life of unity that St. Paul writes to the Ephesians about today. Do all you can to preserve the unity of the Spirit by the peace that binds you together. Let's today be inspired by St. Paul's writings and by the words of St. John of Capistrano to go beyond ourselves so that we can be united in the way of Jesus Christ, united in the experience of God's peace in our world today. St. John of Capistrano, pray for us.